Today, we look at another key to success, having a supportive spouse. In this podcast, we will look at why my spouse is greater than yours, why having a supportive spouse is important, and most importantly, I love you, Shauntel. Happy Valentines Day. Welcome to the Rodney podcast. So, probably mid-2015, maybe right after summer, is when I had a plan where I was planning to get married. And so it was interesting because the proposal had to be something that was carefully thought out. It had to be something that I wanted to kind of, not necessarily make a big spectacle, but just something that was just not lame, right? And so in order to make this happen, the plan that I had, it was going to take some time, and I had to wait for some time to pass because I wanted to do it a certain way. And so I remember at the time that the future wife wanted it to be like right now, right? But needless to say that we did wait, and it happened the way I wanted it to. So of course, looking back, she said yes, and we were married. So today on a Valentine's Day podcast, so the key to success for today is having a supportive spouse. Welcome to the Valentine's Day Rodney podcast. So, 2016, I was married, but I mentioned before that in 2018, there was a change. And at the time of this change, and it had to do with, what I wanted to do as far as a career and a job and work, I decided that if I didn't go on a path that I really wanted to go on to this time, because I had a couple of different changes. You guys heard my previous podcasts. If I didn't go about the path that I wanted to go around this time, that later on down the road, I'd be on my deathbed with tons of regrets. And that's, I heard, the worst that you can have. So I remember going home the day that I found out that there was going to be this change. And I remember having to tell the spouse that things were going to change. And so I can say from the start, she was very supportive. You see, my plan, as most of you can tell by now, was to go all in doing what I love to do. And I started with real estate. And I said, you know what? At this point in my life, if I don't go ahead and go full in, doing what I do every day, loving what I do, and I really did, every job I had, I did love. But I really, really wanted to go in like the nitty gritty, like the deep down, what I really, really like to do. Right. And so the idea of building a real estate team and helping people achieve their dreams, as well as having investments for me, has always been a dream of mine. So I said, let's go for it. And on top of that, I love to teach. I love to motivate. I love to inspire people. I like to see people change for the better. And so I felt that I was being called to reach more people than I ever have reached before. To really go for it and really just not be confined to a limited number and just go full on out. And so I went full in on social media. You can see me all on it. I did podcasts. I do YouTube, all of those things. And if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's Rodney O. You can do a YouTube search. There was a rapper back in the day called Rodney O. So we need to remove him with me when you search. You can search Rodney O Weekly. Anyway, it's like commercial in the middle of my talk here. But it may be confusing to many people, about why this path, why doing this, because it is a long grind. You have to be consistent and do it for a while, and it gains traction. And thank you guys for this keys to success. This has been really a successful month for me as far as downloads. Keep spreading that. Keep sharing with other people. It's been great. But many of you guys know Gary Vee. And I definitely follow his model and share his philosophy as far as personal branding and why I do what I do. So you can check him out if you can. But this dream that I could do would not be possible without the support of a loving wife. My love for her is so great, especially because she keeps me on task. You see, with social media, you can get distracted. You can get caught up in the bad things about it and the superficial. into things that don't matter. So as I drifted off course, she was right there to set me back on the right path. See, late last year, 2018, for a few months, I had to slow down in activity. I had to slow down in what I was doing. I had to recalibrate. I had to reassess what I was doing and what my initial purpose was and return to that. And to this day, I continually examine my path and tell myself my goal, because I'm going to be reminded every day what it is I'm doing, why I'm doing, and to stay on that path. So here's my point. My point is this: successful people who are married have a supportive spouse. And I make that key, who are married, because if you're not, then you have other people to support you. But it can't be done without a supportive spouse. Well, maybe, possibly. But I can tell you it would be extremely hard, right? I mean, you need to talk, share, and work together to make things work. So I'll say this: Mrs. Shauntel Fraser Owens, I love you, and this podcast is dedicated to you. And I hope this becomes my most downloaded podcast, because without you, I wouldn't be able to do this. And so make sure, guys, spread this around and make this the most downloaded podcast. I'd appreciate you. For those of you who I happen to motivate, encourage, and inspire, it's only possible because of my wife. And she is the one who motivates, encourages, and inspires me. So please feel free to dialogue with me. My YouTube video, Rodney O Weekly, shows that I am living what I speak. Please be sure to subscribe to that channel. The link is in the podcast description, or you can simply go to YouTube and search Rodney O Weekly. And as always, remember, I want to inspire, encourage, and motivate all of you as you navigate this journey that we call life. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you guys in the next one. Happy Valentine's Day.